Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. If you like tech and helpful tips, don't forget to subscribe. Let's get started.
Attempting to steam bend plywood is a common query among woodworkers, and the short, often disappointing answer is, generally no, not in the traditional sense that solid wood can be steam bent. The fundamental reason lies in the very construction of plywood itself. Unlike a solid piece of timber, which is a continuous grain structure, plywood is an engineered wood product made from multiple thin layers, or plies, of wood veneer. These plies are glued together with adjacent layers having their wood grain rotated up to 90 degrees to each other. This cross-grain construction is precisely what gives plywood its incredible strength, dimensional stability, and resistance to splitting, but it also becomes its Achilles heel when it comes to steam bending. When you steam bend solid wood, the heat and moisture from the steam work to soften the lignin, which is the natural plastic-like binder holding the wood fibers together. Once the lignin is pliable, the wood fibers can be compressed on the concave side of the bend and stretched on the convex side, allowing the wood to take on a new, permanent shape as it cools and dries. This process relies on the natural properties of wood and its organic binders. Plywood, however, introduces a critical non-organic element: the adhesive. The strong, synthetic glues used to bond the veneers together, such as urea formaldehyde or phenol formaldehyde resins, are designed to be incredibly durable and resistant to moisture and heat, precisely to prevent delamination. These glues do not soften and become pliable in the same way lignin does when exposed to steam. Instead, excessive steam and heat can actually weaken the glue bond, causing the layers to delaminate rather than bend smoothly. Furthermore, the cross-grain orientation of the plies actively resists bending. While one layer might be oriented to bend along its grain, the adjacent layer's grain will be perpendicular to the direction of the bend, creating immense internal stress. This structural integrity, which is a benefit for flat panels, becomes a significant hindrance for forming curves. The cross-grain layers will fight against the bending force, leading to cracking, splintering, or, more commonly, catastrophic delamination as the glue fails under the strain. Even with very thin plywood, you might achieve a slight curve, but it's more of a forced mechanical bend rather than a true plastic deformation facilitated by steam. The radius achievable would be extremely limited, and the risk of damage remains high. So, if traditional steam bending isn't viable, how do you achieve curves with plywood? There are several effective alternatives. One popular method is kerfing, where a series of parallel saw cuts are made on the back of the plywood sheet, extending most of the way through its thickness. These cuts relieve the internal stress, allowing the plywood to bend along the kerfs. The resulting gaps are then often filled with glue or a flexible material to maintain the curve. Another common and highly effective technique is laminating thin veneers. This involves taking multiple thin sheets of wood veneer, often 1/16 inch or less, applying glue between them, and then clamping them over a form or mold to create the desired curve. Once the glue dries, you have a custom-made, strong, curved panel that mimics plywood but is built specifically for the curve. You can even create your own custom plywood, this way with specific grain orientations. Finally, there's bending plywood, also known as flexi-ply or wiggle wood. This specialized plywood is manufactured with very thin plies and often uses a softer, more flexible glue, and critically, all or most of its plies are oriented in the same direction, typically lengthwise. This allows it to bend significantly in one direction without cracking or delaminating, making it ideal for curved furniture, walls, and architectural features. In conclusion, while the idea of steam bending plywood is appealing for its simplicity, the inherent construction and material properties of standard plywood make it an impractical and often damaging endeavor. For successful and durable curved plywood applications, look to kerfing, laminating thin veneers, or utilizing specialized bending plywood products. Thank you for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe for more woodworking tips and insights.